Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you. In fact, very good afternoon. It's just 3:30 right now, and I welcome all of you once to these free Shiksha TOEFL classes. So, guys, today we are going to talk about, or rather, I would say, we are going to learn about another module from the TOEFL exam, and that is your writing module. So, last week we learned about the listening module, and today we are going to focus on the writing module. So you can see it on your screen. I'm sharing my screen with all of you. So we meet you every Wednesday at the same time, 3:30 to 4:30, between that for 1 hour. And we have live doubt sessions here. We also give you information regarding the registration process or even the subscription process. So, guys, you just have to subscribe with us on our YouTube channel, which is with the same name, Shiksha Study Abroad. You do not have to do anything, just press on the subscribe button because we have lots of online free material for you from where you can actually gain a lot of knowledge and help yourself in your TOEFL exam, especially if you are a serious aspirant of TOEFL. And no doubt about the registration process, it's absolutely free. You do not have to pay a single penny. We are giving these classes for free so that you can make use of them as much as possible. And also, you just have to click on the registration link, which has been provided to you in the description below, just below this live video which is going on. So you just have to click on that blue highlighted link and you will get registered with us for free. Then you can, visit our download our landing page from where you can actually download a lot of information from there, and we have lots of classes which we have done in the past few months where we have discussed, we also had an instance where we were conducting these TOEFL classes daily. In the month of August, we had started with that. So definitely you can gain a lot of knowledge out of it. And no doubt about the classes. These classes have been designed in such a way that, every detail of every module and every question type which you encounter in your paper, it has been discussed in very much detail. So please do go through our previous videos which have been uploaded on our YouTube channel. And for that, you just have to subscribe with us, as I said before. So, guys, without any delay, let's start with today's class. And our major focus would be on the writing module. But yes, before we actually jump on to our module, I would like you all to go through the changes which have come up, lately. In fact, not lately now, it has been 4 to 6 months. And these changes came up in the month of July. So let me just revise with all of you very quickly what were the changes. So changes or the alterations were not done in every module or in every section, rather, I would say. It was just done in two of the modules, and the other two were just revised. Okay, so I'll just read the information for all of you from July 26th, 2023. Just excuse me for a minute, guys. Yes. So from July 26, 2023, the TOEFL IBT will undergo several enhancements. And, it has already gone. It was just written like this then. So one of which is reducing the test duration to just 2 hours. That is under 2 hours, in fact. Prox time, which has been given here in bold as well. 1 hour 56 minutes. So, guys, earlier the TOEFL paper used to be for around 3 hours, which was a very very lengthy and long time for the candidates to sit in the exam continuously for 3 hours. It was difficult. So, just to make it easy for you guys, especially who are willing to give their TOEFL exam, these hours have been reduced to under 2 hours. And the sections are like reading. Now we have the number of questions as 20. So earlier it was more, because of which the timing was more. So now the timing has been reduced also to 35 minutes. And same goes with your listening. In listening, we do not have any major changes, I would say. But yes, 28 questions which used to come in the paper. Then there was additional, optional section as well. So now that is not the case here. So we only have 28 questions in the list for the TOEFL listening paper, and 36 minutes will be given to you for completing this listening exam. If we talk about speaking, Then in speaking, we have 4 tasks, and the total timing which is given to you is 16 minutes. For writing, if we talk about, which is also the focus for today's class, we have 2 tasks. So earlier also we used to get 2 tasks, but you will notice a difference that there has been a change in, one of the tasks. That is, you used to get one independent and one integrated. So now we have one more task, instead of your independent task. We have writing for an academic discussion. So that is the topic or name of that task which has been introduced in the TOEFL writing, and the minutes which you get is 29. So that is approx half an hour which you get for your writing paper. So if we total all these timings and all the minutes here, then definitely it would come under 2 hours. So for example, right now it's coming 1 hour 56 minutes. So that is what your timing is now for standard timing for your TOEFL paper altogether, which was 3 hours earlier. So, guys, this is the basic change which has come up, which I wanted all of you to know about before we actually start with today's class. And I do this in every class of mine. I take you through the latest changes because we are meeting once a week, so that you do not forget about the changes and the latest patterns. That is why I always keep a different, a separate slide just for uh, the noticeable changes which you can actually check and look forward to. Now, let me come to today's class and today's focus of the class, in fact. So, that is our writing module of the TOEFL exam. Now, what are we going to learn here in today's classes? We are going to see what is the syllabus behind the writing module of TOEFL. Then, what is the pattern of the paper? What all tasks do you get? Then what are the timings that we have already discussed actually, and then what is the marking criteria behind your writing paper, and also I'm going to give you some books and references in the end so that you can self practice and self evaluate yourself, and then maybe you can ask few doubts or questions if you have related to anything in the TOEFL exam on the comment section. So, guys, that will be the motive of today's class. And starting with the overview of the writing module, let's read about it first. So, TOEFL IBT test writing section. Now, the TOEFL IBT test writing section measures your ability to write in English in an academic setting and to present your ideas in a clear, well organized way. Okay. So definitely examiner is looking for all this. So please be very attentive throughout the class so that you know what is the main motive of giving the IELTS writing, TOEFL writing exam. Now there are 2 writing tasks as I said. So one is integrated writing task, which is for 20 minutes. So out of your 29 minutes or 30 minutes, as I said, here when I was taking you through this slide, if you remember, writing 2 tasks will be given to you in 30 minutes prox, that is half an hour. So that has also been segregated and bifurcated into 2 different categories. That is, one is integrated writing task, which you'll get, and the another one is writing for an academic discussion task. So writing integrated task is for 20 minutes where you have to read a short passage, then you'll have to listen to a short lecture. That means the audio will be there after you read the passage, and then you will write your response in what you have read and listened to according to that or on the basis of that. So here you have 3 tasks to do. That is your reading part, your listening part, and your writing part. So definitely there are 3 skills which are being evaluated or judged by the examiner for you, simultaneously, because you're reading also, then you're listening to the audio also related to that passage, and then again you'll have to summarize all your points on the basis of reading passage and the audio lecture. And then in the end, you will show your writing skills by writing your response in those 20 minutes. And what is there in writing for an academic discussion task? That is for 10 minutes, as said. And here you have to state and support an opinion in an online classroom discussion. So, nevertheless, you will have to support your opinion or whatever belief or idea you have behind that particular task. Whatever is your opinion, definitely you'll have to go around that and you'll have to provide one in your answer. Now let's see, guys, what is the marking like. Just a second. Yeah. So we were here. Now, what will be the marking like? You'll type your responses on a computer keyboard. First of all, let me tell you that. And the test time is around 29 minutes. Scoring is writing tasks are scored based on the writing scoring guide by a combination of AI scoring and certified human raters. So now you know. Okay, let me read the last line as well. Raw scores are converted to a scaled section score of 0 to 30. So, guys, let me tell you without any confusion here that all the four modules of the TOEFL exam, these all are divided in, under 30 marks. So, if you just multiply 30 by 4, that is 120. So, your whole TOEFL or the complete TOEFL paper, including all the four modules, that is for 120 marks in total. And you will have to, you know, uh, you'll be evaluated, in fact, from 30 marks separately. So, same goes for your writing module as well. Writing is also for about 30 marks, and that is how you will be evaluated. All right. So if I move on with this, then I was, telling you about the combination of AI scoring and certified human raters. So definitely, guys, there will be two sources who will be evaluating your writing score. So initially, it will be an AI scoring. That means the computer will judge you or evaluate your mistakes, on the basis of response which you give in your answer in your final paper. So definitely computer will be judging you. It will be taking out the mistakes or the organization skills or whatever kind of errors you've made, and then that same response or the final paper which you have written, that answer goes to the human raters. So definitely there are examiners also who are present there to evaluate you. So after the AI has done its role, then the human raters come into existence. So definitely there will be two kinds evaluations which you will go through, or in fact your paper will go through. So initially it will start with AI scoring, and then there will be certified human raters, that is examiners, who will examine you. Now guys, let's start with the integrated task. So as I have told you, integrated task will take about 20 minutes. So here I have actually, bifurcated all the scores. That is, if you're getting a 5 score, if you're getting a 4 score, then if you're getting a 3, and then if you're getting a 2 or 1 or 0. So in what cases will you get such, marks or scores? Let me just read out for you very quickly. So, for example, if you're talking about the integrated writing, then a 5 score, that is the highest score here, that will be a kind of response at this level successfully selects the important information from the lecture and coherently and accurately presents this information in relation to the relevant information presented in the reading, and the response is well organized, and occasional language errors that are present do not result in inaccurate or imprecise presentation or of content or connections. So guys, the person or the candidate who has written this kind of response, definitely that person would get a 5 score. Now who will get a 4 score? A candidate who has written a response at this level, is which is generally good in selecting the important information from the lecture and incoherently and accurately presenting this information in relation to the relevant information in the reading, but it may have the minor omission, okay, inaccuracy, vagueness, or imprecision of some content from the lecture, or in connection to points made in the reading. So, guys, be very, very, attentive here. A response is also scored at this level if it has more frequent or noticeable minor language errors. Always remember that. So, if the person is having these kind of errors, then also the person would get a 4, because that is generally good in selecting the important information, which is your main motive of giving the writing TOEFL paper. Then, as long as such usage and grammatical structures do not result in anything more than an occasional lapse of clarity or in the connection of ideas. Now let's read about the third score. That means when will the candidate get a 3 score? So a response at this level, that means 3 level, contains some information, some important information from the lecture and conveys some relevant connection to the reading, but it is marked by one or more of the following. So what are those bullet points? Let's go through them. Although the overall response is definitely oriented to the task, it conveys only vague, global, unclear, or somewhat imprecise connection of the points made in the lecture to points made in the reading. So guys, this point is very important because in integrated task you get reading passage also, hence this point has been written here. Now the next bullet point is the response may omit one major key point made in the lecture. So if one major key point is missing, then also the response would get a 3 score. Now, some key points made in the lecture or the reading or connections between the two may be incomplete, inaccurate, or imprecise. So, any one of these three, incomplete, inaccurate, or imprecise, then definitely the candidate would get a 3 score. Now, errors of usage and or grammar may be more frequent or may result in noticeably vague expressions or obscured meanings in conveying ideas and connections. So, yes, if there are vague expressions or obscured meanings in conveying ideas, then also the person would suffer with a 3 score. Come to 2 score. So, guys, always remember, I would like to take a break and let you all know that why are we doing this, so that you know what is your requirement. And even if you do not have a mentor by your side or a trainer by your side, then you know how much you have to score, what is your requirement, and for that particular requirement of that particular score, what do you actually need to present in your answer. Okay, so you are well aware of your own marking criteria and your own response, that how would you reach to a 4 score or a 3 score or a 5 score, because definitely most of us would like to score 4 and 5. Nobody would like to fall below that. But yes, if you're getting a score below that, and if you're writing such an answer and then you're thinking I had written by myself everything very nicely, then why am I not getting a 5 or 4 score, or why am I not scoring very nice or very good marks or scores rather in my TOEFL writing? Then these are the points which you need to look out for, so that you can improve, and you can see, even if you have a mentor or trainer and they are giving you a 2 or 3 score, then you know in your mind by reading all these points that how can I actually reach to 4 and 5 if I'm getting 2 and 3 right now with this type of answer or response, right? So guys, this is what you need to understand. And now because of this, I'll take you through the 2 score idea as well. So a response at this level contains some relevant information from the lecture but is marked by significant language difficulties or by significant omission or inaccuracy of important ideas from the lecture or in the connections between the lecture and the reading. A response at this level is marked by one or more of the following. The response significantly misrepresents or completely omits the overall connection between the lecture and the reading. The response significantly omits or significantly misrepresents important points made in the lecture. So definitely guys, these are two very important bullet points. In fact, the third one as well. So the response contains language errors, okay, and expression errors that largely obscure connections or meaning at key junctions, or that would likely obscure understanding of key ideas for a reader not already familiar with the reading and the lecture. And one is when this response at this level is marked by one or more of the following. That is, first bullet point, the response provides little or no meaningful or relevant coherent content from the lecture. The language level of the response is so low that it is difficult to derive meaning. And zero is when a response at this level merely copies sentences from the reading, rejects the topic, or is otherwise not connected to the topic. is written in a foreign language, and consists of keystroke characters or is blank. So usually nobody gets a zero, but this is just for you to be aware that if you're doing any one of these, then definitely you're scoring a zero, and which is really very impossible because once you're sitting in your TOEFL paper, I'm sure all of the candidates are well aware of what do we actually need to do in our paper. Now, guys, if we talk about the writing for an academic discussion, which is a new task which has been introduced in your TOEFL writing in place of independent writing, then let's read about the scoring level of writing for an academic discussion as well. So, fifth will be when a fully successful response will be a fully successful response, and the response is a relevant and very clearly expressed contribution to the online discussion, and it demonstrates consistent facility in the use of language. A typical response displays the following and relevant and well elaborated explanations, exemplifications, and or details, effective use of a variety of syntactic structures and precise idiomatic word choice. That means using idioms in between your response. So this is basically for an opinion based answer, because in writing for an academic discussion you actually need to give your opinion, as I showed you in the first slide as well. Now, almost no lexical, that means related to vocabulary, no lexical or grammatical errors other than those expected from a competent writer writing under timed conditions. Example, common typos or common misspellings or substitutions like there. Okay. Now, who will get a 4 score in academic discussion writing? A generally successful response, obviously a little less than 5, but generally a successful response. Then a response is a relevant contribution to the online discussion, and facility in the use of language allows the writer's ideas to be easily understood. A typical response displays the following: relevant and adequately elaborated explanations, exemplifications, and or details, a variety of syntactic structures, and appropriate word choice. Then there are few lexical or grammatical errors, not many. That time, in that moment also the candidate gets a 4 score. What about 3? So a partially successful response, not very, but partially. So, elaboration in which part of the explanation, example, or detail may be missing, unclear, or irrelevant. Irrelevant is, I'm sure everybody knows the meaning, but still, just to brief you out, you do not have to get distracted. You have to stick to the requirement of the question. Okay, that is the meaning of irrelevant. Now, some variety in syntactic structures and a range of vocabulary, some noticeable lexical and grammatical errors in sentence structure, word form, or use of idiomatic language. So, guys, always be very much aware. I tell this in my IELTS class as well, that please use idioms and very difficult vocabulary only if you're very much aware of it and you know the meaning and usage of those words and phrases and you know how to use them in your answer. Only then do it. Otherwise, it will be, a backfire kind of scene, because you are using such difficult phrases and words for your impression on the examiner, or for putting the impression of a maybe you know um, maybe for putting the impression on the examiner, or maybe get for getting good scores, but definitely this will be hindered if you are not using it very much properly. So a limited, now 2, who will get a 2? A mostly unsuccessful response. Okay, so 2 score will be a candidate will be getting if the candidate is unsuccessful in giving the response, and the response reflects an attempt to contribute to the online discussion, but limitations in the use of language may make ideas hard to follow. A typical response displays the following: so, ideas that may be poorly elaborated or only partially relevant. A limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary, and accumulation of errors in sentence structure, word forms, or use. Now, who will get score 1? An unsuccessful response. So, completely unsuccessful. Words and phrases that indicate an attempt to address the task, but with very few or no coherent ideas. Coherent is something very your ideas related to the logical consistency part, or how much rational, how much logical you are in your ideas. Okay, all that is which comes under coherent. Now, severely limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary, serious and frequent errors in the use of language, and minimal original language. Any coherent language is mostly borrowed from the stimulus. The response is blank, rejects the topic. Now, somebody who will get a 0, so response is blank. Either the candidate rejects the topic, and either or it is not in English, it is in some other foreign language. Then also the candidate gets a uh, you know 0. And if the candidate is entirely copying from the prompt, that means not using synonyms or not paraphrasing, then also he gets 0. Is entirely unconnected to the prompt, again deviated from the point, not fulfilling the requirement of the question, or consists of arbitrary keystrokes. Okay, so if you're dealing with those keystrokes, then definitely then also the candidate would get a 0. Now, what are the tips? Let's go through them quickly. Read articles and summarize in English. To prepare for the TOEFL writing section, applicants can build a habit of reading academic articles or even different types of articles in their native language and summarize it in English. Then you can take notes in a language that applicants are comfortable, and next take the same notes in English, write a summary of points in English sentences, take the help of teachers and ask them to review your errors in writing and speaking and correcting errors. Then track the time taken to complete this task and slowly work to reduce the same. Listen to the lectures. Listen attentively to recorded lectures in English. Pause the recording for 20 to 30 seconds and note down the significant points, that means the main keywords. Then replay these recorded lectures to tally if the points, match with the lectures and include important points if any. Then lastly, they must elaborate the notes in long sentences. Now, focus on the source of information. Very important. So, while preparing for the TOEFL writing test, candidates must learn to figure out the source of information while reading and listening, and include that source in writing. So, for instance, they must identify the speaker, identify if a speaker is narrating about someone else, and command the information and be careful about the difference between might be and is, because the meaning of these two words and phrases is very different. So something which is might be, that means it's not for sure, and something which is, that means it is happening for sure. Practice to deliver grammatically correct sentence. To score high numbers in TOEFL writing, aspirants or applicants need to have a comprehensive knowledge of grammar. List down the various concepts of grammar and focus on one section every week. Furthermore, memorizing appropriate words and using correct grammatical sentences while summarizing any article or form or from recorded lectures. Avoid quoting, very important. Avoid quoting the author, and in integrated tasks, especially, candidates are required to describe the author's or professor's point of view in their own words. For this, they must follow the below mentioned tips. For example, first is avoid quoting the author. You cannot just, quote it, because as the TOEFL e-rater is your AI rater, that is the computer or laptop, whichever will be evaluating your response. So electronic rater section detects this instantly if if the computer sees your response and in that response you have mentioned the author's name, it will very quickly detect it and lead to a number reduction. Then build a good command over paraphrasing, that is use of synonyms. Incorporate enough transitional words. Transitional words are the words which make a transition from one end to the other, and they show the transition with the help of the words. For example, however, although, furthermore, moreover, all of that. Transitional words or phrases form a crucial part of the integrated writing segment, and reading and writing passages compel students to make a proper transition between differing or contrasting ideas. They must know transitional words that describe sequence points and reasons. In addition, they must increase their vocabulary of transitional words that are used to elaborate, contrast, show cause and effect, and summarize or conclude. Make an outline, of course, establish a clear opinion and stand by it. Now, this is very important. Again, I'm not reading it in detail, but we all know that once we are giving our opinion, we should be clear and we should stick to that. We should not change our opinion and fluctuate between the two. Now, add conclusion sentences in each body paragraph. That is very important so that the examiner also knows after he has evaluated that here you have ended or concluded this particular paragraph. Get to edit, that means keep some time in the end to revise your paper very well. Now, guys, I have a list of few books and references from where you can take help, as I said before. So, yes, these are the main, books which I would like to refer, to all of you, because these are the top 5 books which I have actually, named and written here. First is TOEFL Official Guide PDF. Then next is Cambridge. Then we have two Barron's Essential Words and TOEFL IBT 17th edition. And then we have Kaplan. So, guys, with this, we come to the end of our TOEFL session for today. And very soon, for next Wednesday, I'll be coming up with a fresh new class on a fresh new module, that is your speaking module. And that would be the end of the TOEFL class for now, for this particular month. And with the new year, we'll be coming up with fresh new classes on both IELTS and TOEFL. So please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Shiksha Study Abroad. We have lots of online free material for all of you from where you can prepare and get a very good band in IELTS and a very good score in TOEFL. So yes, guys, keep preparing. And if you have any questions in the end, or if you have any questions to be asked later on as well, please do not hesitate to put down your queries and problems on the comment section, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, guys, for watching us live. Keep preparing, and yes, bye bye.